Hi guys, it's your girl Sinanzi and we are back with another one for you today. And today we are reacting to 7 free things in the UK that cost money.
In the US. In the US.
I read it right, did I not?
Yeah, you did. It happens, a brain fart moment.
Because I'm like, 7 free things that is free in the US but cost money. My brain was going back to the UK. That's why I'm like, huh? In my brain, I'm like, that don't sound right. So 7 free things in the UK that cost money in the USA. Yes. And it's coming from an American living in the UK. So it's coming from her perspective. And we don't know. She always does her research. There's no going around that. When she puts out a video, girl gone London, it's to the T. So we're going to get right into this one. So if you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. Let's get into this video. And to all our regulars, thanks for always supporting us. Here goes.
For the supposed land of the free, there's a lot in the US that isn't free. And you know, maybe that makes sense for a capitalist society, but then I started thinking about my new home, the UK, and I was like, wait, how can the UK make these things free, but the US can't? In fact, I think the only thing I could think of that's free in the US that's not in the UK is refills. In this video, we're talking about 6 things that are free in the UK that aren't free in the USA. And funnily enough, I think this topic will blow the minds of more Americans than it does Brits. It certainly did for me when I first moved to the UK in 2012. Number 1, the NHS, or healthcare being free at the point of use. Perhaps the most iconic example of a public service that is free in the UK but not in the USA is the National Health Service. Established in 1948, the NHS was founded on the principle that healthcare should be free at the point of delivery and funded instead by general taxation. This means that UK residents can visit general practitioners, access hospital care, undergo surgery, receive maternity services, and so much more without ever receiving a bill. I used to work in a setting in the UK that required helping out university students, and I vividly remember an incident where one of them, an American, was having a medical crisis. We immediately went to call for an ambulance, and this person panicked and asked us not to. The reason? They were worried that they couldn't afford it on a student income. While continuing to dial 999, we had to remind them that life is different in the UK and that they wouldn't be charged for an ambulance coming out to attend to their life-threatening situation. Because, in stark contrast, the American healthcare system is primarily private. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, as of 2023, over 27 million Americans were uninsured and millions more were underinsured. The average annual premium for employer-sponsored family coverage in the US was around $23,000 in 2023. Even these insured individuals typically face co-pays, deductibles, and surprise bills. You can call the ambulance, but you're probably going to have to pay a bill for it. So while you can't breathe, you have to decide, is this really necessary, or should I try and tough it out? And as I've said before on this channel, and the comments will come, I know, the NHS is not actually free because it is paid for by taxation. But it's a much different way of funding the service, and it is free at point of use. As long as you're a citizen or legal resident in the UK with access to public funds, they're not going to look up your tax records before they give you the surgery. And medical bankruptcy is virtually unheard of in the UK, but it's a common issue in the US. A 2019 study published in the American Journal of Public Health found that 66% of US bankruptcies were tied to medical issues, including bills and time lost from work.
Wow. That's a lot. Medical bankruptcies. That's a huge one. Because I hear the word bankruptcy so much now. People like as young as me are filed for bankruptcy, which is crazy to me.
Just entering into your 20s and you're filing bankruptcy.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good.
But I when I saw this video, I said, I'm going to show Sin this one. Because when you look at it, I will never stop saying this. Why cannot America adopt something like this for its country? I cannot wrap my head around it. It don't make sense to me that they can, just won't.
Don't want to. Yeah.
That's it. Because like I said, medical, pharmaceutical, anything to do with it, it's all about the money.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, and talk about the NHS, how she said it's not free because you pay with your tax money, which makes sense. For me, I will be okay with that because it's already cut before I receive my paycheck. I know I'm good.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm all for it. Why wouldn't you be for something like that. And don't get us wrong, we understand that the NHS have its little hiccups, like
Yes.
anything, like
Mhm.
any company, like any business, they do have their hiccups. But when you stop to think about, if you don't have to worry about selling your car or mortgaging your yeah,
Yep.
we'll take it any day.
Now, the next thing on my list is free university tuition in Scotland for Scottish students.
Really?
In Scotland, university education is free for Scottish students who attend public universities in Scotland. The Scottish government covers tuition costs through the Student Awards Agency for Scotland, also known as SAAS. So, in an academic year, eligible students paid £0 in tuition fees. Now, this does differ within the UK, so this is in sharp contrast to England, where tuition fees can reach around £9,000 per year. But comparing it to the USA, college tuition is often extortionate across the pond. According to the College Board, the average annual tuition in the US for public 4-year in-state universities was $10,940, and that is cheap. For private institutions, it exceeded $39,400. Additionally, American students graduate with an average debt of around $30,000, which creates long-term financial burdens. This difference between the US and Scotland in particular illustrates how education policy reflects broader social goals.
Yes.
Scotland views higher education as a public good worth investing in, while in the US, it's often treated as a personal investment in a financial commodity. Now let's talk about bank accounts.
That is true, because when you hear about people overseas, these people got masters, doctors. I'm like, y'all are really going in with the schooling. No, because like the idea of just getting your bachelor's alone is like a car. You're buying a car basically, and you're only 18. You're struggling to get through school financially because you're always studying. You're not working. If you are working, you're working part. You're burning yourself.
Yeah, burnout.
You burnt out, definitely.
At such a young age.
Yes, for 4 years, and then simply go for your master's, or you go for your master's, and that's even more money because you're going up in your education, and then doctorate, it's just so much
end up
money.
with $100,000
Easily.
debt. And not only that, you finish with all this, and you can't even find a proper job.
That's another one. That's a
major one.
Yep.
It's sad. It's ridiculous. But I love the way they put it. Why wouldn't you invest in the people that is who are going to help to the turnover to make the country better or make the economy better? But no, for America, it's a personal
investment.
Can you imagine
Which is true. It's a personal investment, which is crazy.
But these ones who are doing the personal investment are the same one that you want to be the pillars of your country.
Exactly. Which is crazy to me.
In the UK, opening and maintaining a basic current account is typically free. Major UK banks such as Barclays, Lloyds, and HSBC offer accounts with no monthly maintenance fees. You can set up direct debits, use debit cards, and access ATMs across the country at no cost. And this is very common, and they're easy to find. These aren't some hidden deal that you have to find when they come around. In contrast, many American banks charge monthly service fees on checking accounts unless the customer maintains a minimum balance or sets up direct deposits. So there's all kinds of requirements that you have to fulfill. According to Bankrate's 2023 study on the topic, the average monthly maintenance fee for a non-interest-bearing account in the US was $5.14, which amounts to around $60 annually. Overdraft fees in the US also remain steep, with the average fee around $30 per transaction. While some US banks have started offering no-fee accounts, the industry-wide practice of charging for basic banking services is still very common. In this respect, the UK banking system appears to prioritize accessibility and financial inclusion more consistently. Next up is free prescription.
$29.99.
That's what we're laughing about. Guys, it's ridiculous.
$29.99. She said $39. She just rounded off. $29.99. Everybody who have a bank account must know that overdraft fee, and it don't vary between banks. It's like a flat rate throughout all banks. And I'm like, I gotta pay you to keep my own money.
Which is crazy to me. All these maintenance fees. You don't see because it's $5, not much, but it adds up.
Exactly.
It adds up.
And crazy enough, my money is sitting in your bank, even if I'm not using it, and you're using my money to do a turnover. Because you use my money to do investment and everything, but yet still I'm sitting down.
I was shocked.
You didn't know that?
years ago, I was floored. I was like, what? But it makes sense. They're smart. They're investing everybody and right, just giving them away. They're smart. I can't be too mad at them for being that smart. Robbing us blind. They're smart.
Since they're smart.
I can't like that.
You can't wait, so you can't
I
blame.
can't. That is smart.
That's why they always hear people say it's better to put your money in a high yielding savings account than to just store your money in regular savings. Because you don't get nothing,
You get nothing. These interest rates for savings are so little, but these credit card interests are high.
Listen, it's messed up. So when you look at it, why not take your money and put it into a different where you can at least say, okay, at the end of 2 years, I get an extra $2,500 from my money. You understand what I mean?
That's better.
But you can't tell an American that really, you know. They don't want to hear it. They say there's some risk involved. No, there's no risk involved. It depends on which one you put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. You're paying them to just use your money.
Prescriptions in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Prescription charges are another area where some UK residents enjoy a benefit that Americans do not. In Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, all prescriptions are free for residents. This policy was introduced in Wales in 2007, Northern Ireland in 2010, and Scotland in 2011, with the goal of removing barriers to medication adherence and public health. In England, prescriptions are not free, but the cost is fixed and is around £9 per item, although many people are exempt, including children, the elderly, pregnant women, and those with certain chronic conditions. This is unheard of in the US. In contrast, prescription costs in the US are highly variable and often excessive. The Commonwealth Fund reported that in 2022, the US had the highest per capita pharmaceutical spending in the world, with the average person spending over $1,200 per year on prescription drugs. The price of insulin in particular has drawn public outrage. While a vial of insulin costs about £25 in the UK, in the US it can cost up to $300. The UK system reflects a public health approach, while the American model is market-driven, with pharmaceutical companies playing a major role in pricing. Now, cultural access.
That is true, because I remember this being on the news about insulin and the EpiPen, how expensive it is over here in the States compared to other countries. And when you think about it, it really is a monopoly here. They're just making their money over here.
Look,
they're just making their money.
They don't care. They literally don't care. It's never about you. It's about them.
It's about that money.
How much profit can we get? And how sad is that? But when she said it, I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Free
prescription.
And then even for people who are paying, but listen to this, not even £10. Not even £10.
That's crazy.
But then there's still a category that is still free in other places.
And
if you're pregnant, your kids, the elderly,
and you're very sick, chronic issues going on.
That makes sense. How crazy is that? And the other club, not even $10, not even £10. And I'm like, it can't get better than that sin. That's why I say, be grateful, appreciative of the country that you're in, that you don't have to worry about healthcare, prescription, college tuition through the roof. Be grateful where you are. I know that it may have its flaws or ups and downs, and your country may have this or that, but the major things like these are job opportunities and work-life balance and all of these things. Be happy where you are.
Take advantage of those. Take advantage of them.
Be happy where you are, man. Be proud of who you are and where you are and where you're from, because this ain't it.
Is another area where the UK excels in providing free resources. Major national museums in the UK, including the British Museum, the National Gallery, the Natural History Museum, the Museum of Scotland, the list goes on. They offer free general admission. While they may suggest or ask for donations or charge for special exhibitions, the core collections are open to the public at no cost. By contrast, many leading museums in the US charge entrance fees. For example, admission to the Museum of Modern Art in New York is $25. The Field Museum in Chicago charges $30 for adults. While some American museums do have the occasional free days, these are exceptions typically rather than the norm. And last on my list is free access.
That's expensive for a museum, $25? Just to look around at things?
Even kids. When I took the kids, I was like, Okay, now.
Yeah, that bill was half for you.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it is. And there's with some of them, I noticed in the UK, you have places where you can sit and dine before you go in. You know, US, you can't eat. Don't you better eat that food out the road before you go inside. And you're going dead for you're hungry. You know, cause you're not. It's not like you can buy your ticket, go in, come out, and say I need to go back in.
No.
It don't work like that. How crazy is that?
You gotta make use of your ticket because it's a one-way ticket.
And that's it.
That's it.
And for she said, for sometime you get the free access that she's talking about, you know, it's like they'll say, okay, they have certain days, blackout, certain time during the day, and only a certain amount can go in. And if you don't sign up, that's how it works. And I don't want to say it, but they tend to black out because they're going in with their family. You have to get up from 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and make sure you're going into and logging in your family because they don't play.
They don't play.
Why do you think they can be rich? They don't spend the money. They do everything. The zoo, anything that's clapping, free. You see them in there? Free. But you have to get up. Because I learned that when I went to New York and my in-laws were like, oh, you want to go to the zoo? You want it free? Well, they better sit up and wait up until they open up the portal where you have the free stuff. She said, and you got to do it quick because, like I said, group, they don't play. You see, when we got there, they weren't playing. Damn. We went to the aquarium, the same thing, free. We had to. I had to stay up 4 o'clock in the morning, going in, logging in the information, and they send everything to your email. I'm like, yeah, wow, they don't play though. Dang. And when you look, that same looking people in there packed.
So where are we? At the paid section.
Because we don't know that stuff. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's what it is. We mostly
don't know what's
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We don't know. If you don't know somebody who knows, it's like nobody share this stuff because it's not plastered up on their site or saying, oh, they don't do that, you know. I don't get that. If you're promoting something, so my suggestion on my channel, I was saying, I think it should be free for kids 0 to 15 within the States. You and your kids can visit as much as time as you want from 0 to 15. Once you pass 15-year-old, you pay. I don't see anything wrong with that. So on low-income family can just at least have that experience. You see what I'm saying? Instead of the burden put on the parent. Not saying it's a burden because nobody tell you to have a kid. I'm just saying at least they can get that experience. So you can't have no excuse between 0 to 15 years old to say, oh, I've never been to the zoo. Oh, I've never been to the music art of whatever place or whatever recreational park or whatever. You had that access for 15 years with your kids. Yeah. I think it should have been that way. You can say the parents pay, but the kids are free. 0 to 15. That's it. You're still going to get something. But that's just me.
Hey.
Access to nature and national parks. The UK's 15 national parks, including the Lake District and Snowdonia, are open to the public free of charge. There may be parking or facility fees, but there's no general admission charge. You can just go in and enjoy the national park. This policy underscores the idea that nature should be freely accessible to everyone. In the United States, don't get me wrong, the national park system is vast, it's beautiful, it's worth visiting, but access often comes with a fee. As of 2024, entrance to parks like Yosemite, Yellowstone, and the Grand Canyon costs around $35 per vehicle. You can get an America the Beautiful annual pass to national parks, which costs $80. While these funds help with maintenance and preservation, the cost can discourage frequent visits, particularly for low-income families. Moreover, privatized concessions within U.S. parks often mean higher costs for food, lodging, and tours, where the UK tends to maintain a more open and less commercialized approach. That brings me to the end of this video. Comment below on anything you found surprising. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye, Mama.
Wow. Look, that's something. That is something.
Listen and listen well. I tell you, it's sickening and it's sad. That's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't know that it costs to go to Yellowstone and the Grand Canyon. I didn't know that until just now.
Oh, you didn't know
I
that?
didn't know that. I always thought it was free for some reason because it's natural. Like, why are we charging to see these big rocks? I'm sorry. I'm like, what's the point? Why are we charging to see this nature? Like,
That's
why?
funny just hearing you say it like that. She's like, why was there charge to see this big rock?
Right.
Which I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't agree with you. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, and look at the price.
And it's high.
And that is always the case. And not only that, whatever restaurants, hotels,
Yeah.
whatever is in that vicinity, the prices are tripled, which
Yep.
don't make no sense to me.
Something just popped in my head. When Europeans come, but anyone tourist comes here in the States in America, they spend their money. But when we go over there, we save money. Ain't that funny? That's something. That is something. Everything is high. Over here, we're saving money, which is crazy because our currency is much lower than theirs.
I don't get it though.
America.
But you're right.
Yeah.
You're
I
right.
had to think about like America is expensive.
Yeah.
We're just accustomed to it, which is bad. But America is expensive.
It is.
Like, wow.
We're not laughing because it's funny. It's when reality kicks in and you're hitting it. What can we do? What, we're going to sit here and get angry? There's
And
no
cry?
point.
No, we're gonna laugh.
We're going to laugh it off because I'm like,
Rolling with the punches.
rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
That's all we can do because they ain't going to change it.
No.
We be sitting here and we yapping and get mad and get flustered and get, that don't make no sense.
And they're gonna count their money
Yep.
and don't care.
That's it.
But that's about 30. I was like $5. Like, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, because you can understand
Yeah.
certain things
For
need to be
maintenance,
maintained.
I'm totally fine with that. But $30 a whole meal? No.
More than a meal.
For me, that's it is more than a meal.
That
I
is
guess
more than a
for
meal.
someone.
Yeah, that's a whole. That can feed a whole family dinner for not.
No, yes.
Seriously,
Yeah.
a whole
A
family dinner.
Go to Costco. You can get some stuff.
Rotisserie chicken $5.
Yes.
$4.99.
Get the hot dogs, get the pizza, the drink.
Yeah, a whole family, and you still have change leave over.
That part.
Is the girl Z?
Is Costco American or is it overseas? I think I'm curious.
That's a good question.
Because Costco is that girl.
But it's American.
It's American.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is American.
The
And
o-
can you believe
What?
it's the only place that from it opens, the hot dog is $1.50, and they've made it a point of duty that the price of the hot dog and pizza will the price
Never.
of the hot dog and the pizza too. I
Yeah,
think,
pizza has not. Yeah.
will never.
Even during COVID, it did not go up.
No. They said that's in their whatever bylaw, whatever.
Yeah.
The price will never ever change.
Yeah.
And
I
look
like
how
that
many
about that.
years it has been since Costco has
$1.50?
been established in the US.
Yeah.
You gotta give them due.
Yep.
And you see the price of everything go through the roof. But that $1.50 hot dog, that big old slice of
And a
pizza,
drink?
and that $1.50 for a hot dog and a drink. And it's not your mediocre hot
No,
dog.
it's not. It's a good size.
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. and their pizza $10.
Yeah.
They don't raise their price.
They don't.
And they've
And it's a good size too.
and they've held to what they have said. We will never change it.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know somebody live by something that they say.
I like that. Yeah. I wish more companies were like that in the US. US based companies were more like that, but they're about the money and their
I know
brain.
we'll veer off from topic. We're talking about food and but it's just living by your word. That's what I'm talking about. The prescription free,
Yeah. It's
parks free,
Free.
education
free,
free,
affordable.
the healthcare free. We know it come out of your taxes. Free. I got to throw that in there because they like to dun me in the comment section and tell me, oh, it's not free. It's from we are aware of that. But it's when you look at it, free.
That's what they call free over here too.
Yeah.
It's free. It's like, yeah, you're right, it's free.
It's free. So that's crazy though. When
Yeah.
when you lean back, I'm like, why cannot this take place in America? Because they just don't want to.
Yeah, they don't.
It's a capitalist,
Yeah.
and it will forever.
forever
What
be
is the
that way.
greatest country on?
And the land of the free.
The land. Did you hear the statement?
Yeah.
And the land of the free. And with that, we are out.
FRE.
Bye guys.
Bye, guys.